everybody. My first guest tonight is, of course, an Emmy award-winning comedian and the best-selling author. His latest book is entitled Why Not Me? And his television show, Late Line, returns to NBC on March 16th. Please welcome very funny guy, Al Franken.
I'm good.
We want to talk about the book. There's a lot to talk about here, but first, I got to bring this up because so many people in the last week or so have been talking about this Jerry Falwell incident, and I know that you are a commentator on the right wing. You talk about them quite a bit. What's going on here? I mean, why is Jerry Falwell saying these crazy things?
Well, first of all, he was a guest on Late Line, and we never say anything ill of a Late Line guest. So we like Jerry Falwell, although he said some crazy things. My favorite thing, about 6 weeks ago, he said that the Antichrist is alive and is a male Jew. And I was worried, that it might be me.
Right.
And, now I was trying to, Marvin Hamlish was my next guess, but,
Hamlish, I think.
Yeah. But then the Tinky Winky thing is Harvey Fierstein is my guess on the. But a lot of people don't realize this Antichrist stuff this is all brought on by the millennium because the prophecy in the Bible and Revelations about the millennium. The rapture happens first in the tribulation. Now the rapture, for those of you who don't know, is there'll be a horn will blow, and then everyone who's taken Christ as his personal Savior will ascend to heaven.
Instantaneously, like right up, yeah.
Yes. So if, for example, you're on a plane when the pilot has taken Christ as his Savior, you're in trouble.
He's going to step out the door and go, yeah.
Yeah. So now I talked to Ralph Reed, who's also a friend, and who's the former head of the Christian Coalition. When I read this about the rapture a couple years ago, I said to him, I'm a little worried that after the rapture, the Christian Coalition will be a little short-staffed. And, won't be able to get out their voter guide. I was worried about that.
But they'll be in heaven and happy about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the book. The concept here is that you've run for president.
I run for president.
You run for president.
I win, and I'm a terrible president.
And how long do you last in office?
144 days.
Okay. And why is it that you win the presidency? It seems unlikely that you, Al Franken, would become president. That's not an insult.
No, I understand.
But people would have to be...
It's a scathing satire of the American political system because it creates a scenario in which I could win.
Right. What's the scenario? How do you win? What's that issue that you win on?
I have one issue, single issue, of lowering ATM fees. As popular as that is right now, as you can tell.
Right.
I catch a break because the millennium bug, the Y2K bug, affects only one thing, ATM machines. And everyone loses all the money they've ever deposited in an ATM machine. And there's a very dramatic event. For example, a diabetic woman in Connecticut, goes to her ATM machine to get money for her insulin, and it's not there. And she goes into insulin shock and loses her foot. And Dick Morris, who's my media advisor, sees this in a master stroke, and she becomes our poster girl for the woman for the thing. And I'm swept in office. I get the nomination from Al Gore. I beat Newt Gingrich in the general election. He wins only Cobb County, Georgia, and pockets of Idaho.
And then you get into office, and why does it all go wrong so quickly? Why only 144 days?
Well, my inaugural address is a mistake. It's a miscalculation. I apologize for slavery, quoting very freely from the movie Mandingo. And then, which gets me depressed, and I start getting medicated for that, and I have very bipolar episodes. During a low, for example, I punch Nelson Mandela in the stomach. Manic high, I have myself cloned. embryo is placed into Anne Heche's uterus, and in fact, the end of the book, the epilogue, is told by my clone, Alonzo Heche DeGeneres, who is the curator of the Franken Library, which has 144 rooms.
One for every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
And the response here has been good. People really enjoy they're enjoying the book. Are you getting any negative feedback on the book?
Well, yeah. Here, I got it here. I did a book signing at a store in Washington, and it was on C-SPAN 2. And I happened to mention about something about Bob Barr visiting the Council of Conservative Citizens. I don't know if you know who they are. And so I got a letter from the New York chapter of the Council of Conservative Citizens, and it's a really funny letter. It says, Dear Mr. Franken, your recent performance on C-SPAN trying desperately to sell your dumb, irrelevant book was a real bore. Insurance seminars are funnier than you. You're just a boring guy. Hypocrite, too. You mentioned the CFCC as a racist group who have odd ideas about the future. Those odd ideas are that multiracialism and racial diversity has many problems and isn't working too well. Publicly, you have to say all that bull, but you obviously had a bolt of realism in your private life. You are an extremely liberal Jew who loves to live around other Jews. You live in a lily-white community, New York City. You sent your children to a totally white school. My daughter went to the prom with Jamal. Hey man, racial diversity is great, but not for hatchet face Al. Drop dead, hypocrite. P.S. Hatchet face, you should join our group. You agree with us. Have a very white day. By the way, you have a face only a mother could love, and I'm sure she has problems looking at it. Now, he didn't.
He just couldn't end, could he?
No, well, it was. I mean, that.
Is it signed by? Do we know?
No, he did not sign it, and it's too bad because it's so fun. I would love him to write for Late Line because this is a funny. The thing about it, and my mom, has problems looking at my face. That's funny. So if you wrote this letter, let us know because we want you around the table on Late Line.
Well, Late Line, of course, returns Tuesday, March 16th at 8:30, and Why Not Me is in stores right now. It's a very funny book.
By the way, you guys were great on Late Line.
Thank you.
You did a terrific show.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You worked that in very smoothly.
Didn't you? Didn't I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Was
I
it
just
smooth?
want to talk about Late Line a little longer. We're on Tuesday.
Al Franken, everybody. Thank you, Al. Hilarious. Thanks for doing it. James Krakowski is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.